Hi everyone, welcome to Chai With Us podcast. This is episode number 21. Today we're going to continue our discussion on how is it to live in the USA and in the Canary Islands.
How is the healthcare in Tenerife?
The healthcare, we have social healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we pay our taxes, and because of that, we have some benefits, meaning we have healthcare. It's not like in the US where you need insurance. We pretty much, you don't need an insurance. You can have insurance if you would like to go to a private clinic, or if you
Mm-hmm.
have some like very specific disease and you would like to go to a specialist and you would like to pay for this certain person. But if you don't want to, you don't need to have a health insurance. You don't need to,
Mm-hmm.
to go to private services. So if you have a problem,
Mm-hmm.
you go to the public hospitals. Um, People have very different opinions on the healthcare system. Some people say it sucks. Some people say it's good. Now with the coronavirus, everyone is very appreciative of the healthcare system
Exactly.
because
Mm-hmm.
I mean they're here. It's not perfect, but we do have one. So just
Mm-hmm.
starting here, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the issue that you have, healthcare system is there for you. I would say that when it comes to mental issues, it's better for you to go to a private. Personal
Okay.
opinion over here, but I have
Mm-hmm.
seen certain situations where you go to the healthcare system and they kind of, dismiss it, or
Mm-hmm.
they don't treat it in the same way as if you have a physical problem. So
Okay.
even though we do have, you can go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist through the healthcare system, but it's going to take you longer to get there,
Okay.
or people would probably send you home.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the one thing that I think that it's not quite all right. But yeah, you can also talk to your head doctor and ask him to send you to a specialist if he thinks that you need it. Then he will send you. The only thing that can happen is that probably it will take a lot of time because there's a lot of people waiting for it. So the alternative would be to have like a private insurance and go look for
Mm-hmm.
a specialist yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we have excellent doctors and really good healthcare, but the problem is that we have to pay for it, and it's expensive. I pay about 350 a month, and on top of that, I have to pay like a fee when I go see the doctor, and I have to pay a portion of the bill as well, until I reach 7,000. Once I've had enough healthcare that it's up to $7,000, then my healthcare will pay for everything at 100%. But until I get there, most people do not achieve 7,000 worth healthcare in 1 year. And so it's very, you know what I mean, it's expensive to have to pay 300 every month and then pay a portion of the house of the bill as well.
It's crazy.
So for me, I would really love it if we could move to a social system, because I grew up in Germany and I really love this healthcare system that they had there. And also when you're pregnant here, you don't get weeks off. I think you only get about 6 weeks or something like that, and then after that you have to like go on I forgot what it's called. It's a national like disability that it's so it's considered like a disability so that they
No.
don't fire you. But what you see here is most women go and have a baby, and then 2 or 3 weeks after that they're back at work. Like they don't take the rest like they should. It's so mind-boggling to me. Because I know that like in places like Bosnia and Serbia and Slovenia, you get a whole year after you've had a baby to recover, and they don't fire you. And so here it's
It's
not. There's nowhere
illegal
close to
to
that.
fire
Yeah,
you because you
yeah,
had a
and
baby. I mean,
yeah, and in
wow.
the US, like you get 6 weeks and that's it. So I don't like that at all. I think it's really bad because we're not, you know what I mean? We should appreciate childbirth and we should cover that expense.
Hey, but about like the $350. So if you
Yes.
have a family,
Mhm.
each member of your family would
Yes.
have to spend 350.
Yes. There's a few cheaper ones, but typically it's around 300. Yeah.
Wow. And what's
Yeah,
the
when
average?
my dad was working, he was paying I think like 1,200 for all three of us. But you can only be on your parents' insurance until you're 25, I believe.
Wow. And what is
Yeah.
the average income?
In the US,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. My guess would be that it's 25,000 to 30,000. That's my guess.
Clear.
Yeah, that's what I would guess is the
That's so
average.
crazy.
Yeah.
And you have
But
to
we
pay.
only get taxed at 20% of our income, 20 or 30% of
Wow,
our income.
that's a lot of. And you don't have health for free.
Right. Yeah. And there's no free healthcare. And that's the thing too about working nowadays. Like, before, maybe 30 or so years ago, if you worked for a company, you would stay with that company for 20 years because it provided you security. You
Mhm.
would get really good benefits. Like you would get healthcare maybe paid for them by them. They would also pay for your pension as well. And now I don't know of a single job that pays for your pension or retirement benefits.
Wow, that is so crazy. That is really crazy. I mean, our healthcare is not not everything is for free. You may have to pay portions of the treatment as
Mhm.
well, you know.
Mhm.
But what you just said to me is just like I can't even imagine, like in my head, like I know that what you told me is true, but I
Yeah.
cannot even imagine because I was raised in Portugal, so it's the
Mhm.
same as here in Spain, and it's just
Mhm.
like I cannot think about a society where you pay tax
Yeah.
and they are not taking care of your health. Like
Right.
$350
Mhm.
is a lot of money.
Mhm.
And I
It
and I
is.
I get why a lot of people don't have health insurance and
Yeah.
take care of themselves.
Well, remember when I went to the hospital? So I ended up in the hospital here for 2 weeks, and at the time I did not have health insurance, and my hospital bill was $19,000.
Oh my God.
I was able to negotiate that down to about 12,000 because you can negotiate with them about the bill,
Yes.
and but that's still a lot of money to pay. $12,000. That's a lot of money
My
to
God.
pay.
If you can negotiate the bill, that's because like the bill is not real. I don't know. I have so many things going through my mind right now,
You
and they're
can
not cool.
negotiate because what happens is that when you go to the doctor sends a really, let's say that you go to the doctor and he sends the insurance $500, and then the insurance says, no, there's no way that we believe your service is worth $500. We think it's
Mhm.
only worth 350. And so of the 350, we'll pay maybe 150, and then I will be responsible for the other 200. So the insurance negotiates with all these different providers and doctors and tells them how much they will get paid. But the doctors always send a really high bill because they know that they're going to cut the bill down. I know. And it's so crazy. I know. It's even that's how it works here.
Oh my God. Change this
Yeah,
shit.
I agree. Yeah.
Dude. It doesn't
That's
make
why a
any
lot of people
sense.
agreed. Yeah. And all these insurances, a lot of times they will not cover a pre-existing condition, and they'll label everything a pre-existing condition. And so, like, if you go in and they say it's a pre-existing condition, they won't cover it, so you have to pay for it. So, kind of at the end of the day, it's like, why am I even paying this monthly fee? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you can't go to the hospital and then once you are there get the insurance. It doesn't count, or you can. What
No,
happens?
no, you have to have the insurance before. Because the insurance now you can only get insurance in at the end of December, beginning of January, and if you've had a life-changing event, so if you lost your job or you had to move to another state, then you can get insurance. But otherwise, now you can only get insurance at the beginning of the year,
Okay. So
which
what if you have coronavirus and you don't have insurance and you don't have money?
I have no idea. I think that's when the hospital is like more lenient on the people and gives them like a discount. I don't know. I think that's what's happening because right now I don't know anyone that has coronavirus, so it's not something I can ask them.
Jeez.
Um, but yeah, because I know that some places are giving discounts because of the coronavirus, like they've cut down their prices.
I think that it's very sad because we're not talking about a country where like there's no riches, uh,
Right.
and it's a really I really don't know what to say. It's just I think it's just
It's
very
really
sad.
bad.
It's sad.
For example, like I have to have two MRIs a year, and one MRI costs I think 5,000, and I'm supposed to pay I think like 3,500 of it or 4,000. So insurance will only pay 1,000 of it, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to get it twice a year, that's almost $10,000
But I
just
mean,
for like a picture.
and just the fact that have to pay insurance, like
Mhm.
350, and on top of the insurance, you
Mhm.
have to still pay, like
Exactly.
you have to do this twice a year, and that's what you have to do. Like,
Right.
why are you like everybody's paying 350? You have a lot of money to pay for my friends.
Mhm. Yeah. It's
I
crazy,
don't know.
isn't it?
I rest my case.
It's hard to explain, and it's like I think people
Yeah,
still
because
here don't know how it
it
works.
doesn't make any sense. That's why
I
it's so
agree.
hard to explain. Because when things are like, they make sense, you say, "Oh, listen, this is like this because of that," and the other person
Yeah.
understands. When it doesn't make sense, you're like, "Well, then," and then you, of course, because it doesn't make any sense for me.
The one thing that I will say that the U.S. is really good about is accommodating people with disabilities. Like we have like elevators almost everywhere for people with wheelchair. In Chicago, when the bus comes, the front door opens and then the ramp comes down so that somebody can ride on the bus with a wheelchair. And all the subways have elevators as well. So like we're really good about accommodating people in wheelchairs. And I remember when I was in France, I was wondering about that because I never saw a single person in a wheelchair in the city. And what somebody told me is that there's this stigma in France that people with disabilities are ostracized, and a lot of times they don't live in the city; they live outside in the suburbs because it's still seen as a bad thing. That's what somebody told me that was French,
Like
which I couldn't
someone
believe.
chose to, well, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, there's good and bad things about everything, but I think in the
Yeah.
US, it's something that's so disappointing because we're a wealthy country. So then why are we spending so much money? Most of the money that we spend is on war and warfare and defense. And
Hmm.
instead, we could use all that money to spend it on social, like on social structures and healthcare.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're totally right. But as
And
you
the worst
said,
thing,
good things and bad things.
yeah, and the worst thing that you see here is so many veterans come back and they cannot even pay for their own like health care. They don't have good services for the veterans either. And a lot of them end up homeless, which is really sad because they went out there, they fought the war for their country, and then they come home and they can't even have a normal life anymore. Yeah,
That's really sad.
it
I
is
don't
really
know.
sad. Yeah.
Let's just talk about something else because I'm getting depressed here. It's just like,
Well, I think
let's talk
there's
about
this
something positive.
idea that everybody wants to move to America. Like I remember when I lived in Germany, like, oh, going to America was so cool. I just wanted to buy a T-shirt from them. And I see that especially in India, like everyone wants to move to America, and like all these parents are pushing their children to go to a college in America because they think life here is better.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would agree with that. I guess it depends on what you classify as a better life.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I know a lot of people that want to go to the UK to live, and I'm like,
There's no way I would ever live in the UK.
me
I
neither.
toured London for about 6 7 hours, and that was enough for me.
I love London in the summer, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't live there. I don't think you have better quality of life. I mean, depend on what you consider to be a good life.
Hmm.
Because who am I? I live in an island
Yeah.
and spend my days at the beach doing whatever. But that's my opinion. I guess you have to
Hmm.
think about what is it that you want from life and be like realistic because
Hmm.
it's not going to be a dream come true.
Right.
Eh, well, especially in your first years, it's not going to be a
Yes.
dream, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So let's talk about people. How are
Yes,
people?
sure.
Like I don't know how you're gonna answer this question because you live in the US, so you have people from all ethnicities, all
Yes.
everything. So I don't know if you can describe
Yes.
people in the US.
Well, people are, I would classify from in different regions. So people in the South are very friendly. They're very talkative because it's typically very warm here.
Mhm.
They want to know everything about your life. Like when you're checking out the grocery store, you'll have a conversation and you'll find out like if the person is sick or not, how many children they have. So in the South, people are very open, very talkative. In the North, like New York, not so much. Like people are like it's hustle and bustle. They're all like running to get to work, and they're not very interested in meeting new people or having a conversation.
Yeah.
And in the Midwest, people are friendly, but they'll only talk to you if you start the conversation first. And then you have the Pacific Northwest, which I found to be the nicest people ever. They were so nice. It's just that the weather is so crappy there, like because it's always overcast and cloudy.
Yeah.
But people are so nice. They'll give you, like, let's say you're like walking and you ask someone where something is, they'll give you directions and they'll maybe tell you about another favorite restaurant that they have. So people go out of their way to help you. Anyone I've ever asked for help has always helped me with directions, with recommendations. I've not come across so many rude people. I would just say that in New York, it's not that people are rude; they just don't want to be bothered. Like they have somewhere to get to, and that's that's their mission. And sometimes in Chicago, I think they have that same mentality. But I always get stopped for directions, no matter where I am. I'm always the person that they ask for directions. I guess they think I know where I'm going, but people, I would say for the most part, are really friendly and talkative, and they want to know about you. But then again, we also don't. Have you ever noticed how in India they really like stare at you and look at you? In the US, no one really looks at you because we have everything here. We have Black people, we have Latin people, we have Mexicans, we have Irish people, we have Polish people. So you have everything here. So to you, it's not new because you've seen it, if that makes any
Mm-hmm.
sense. We're not like, oh, there's
Yes.
a Polish person. No,
Yeah,
our
it's
neighbor is
normal. It's
Polish.
normal, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't stare as much, and we don't go out of our way to meet them or ask them like, oh, where are you from? Like that's really typically not the case here because we have that. So yeah, how would you say people are in Tenerife?
I don't know. People are very talkative, loud, happy,
Mhm. Mhm.
relaxed, too relaxed, you know. Forget about customer service.
That's the one thing in India that I miss. You
Oh,
cannot get
Lord.
customer service like you can in India. You know what I mean? Like if you want
Ah,
something done, they will go above and beyond to get it done. And yeah, it's
oh,
so hard after being in
no, it's
India.
not. They won't go above and beyond here.
For me, they have. Oh, you
They
mean
will.
in
They will
Tenerife?
go. Yeah, they will go above. They will go like whatever. Do you today? Okay, next week I will tell you when I can go. That's how it works over here. They are
Yes.
so relaxed. I had to move once, and I took the morning off because they were coming to help me out with my moving. Yeah, so I had
Uh-huh.
to come in the morning, right? So they didn't come, and I was waiting for them, and so I called the guy, and it was like 1 p.m. and I had to go to work maybe at 4 or something like that. And the guy was like, "Don't worry, go have lunch. When I'm ready, I will tell you." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? You're telling me to go have lunch, and you, who I hired to work in the morning because I have to go work in the afternoon,
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
telling me like seriously?" They're just like whatever. If they tell you they're gonna get it done in a week, that means probably a month, and that's it. You have to suck it up because it is what it is, okay? But
Mhm.
they're really
Mhm.
nice. They will do it in a very nice way. They are not
Mhm.
all, well, they usually are like this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people are very effective, but most of the times just assume that you're gonna wait longer. Uh,
Mhm.
and something that I love here is that sometimes you go to a terrace or something, and you feel like the waiter is doing you a favor.
Ah, yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
That was kind of annoying.
isn't it? Like you
Yes.
are doing this person a favor. I
Like
mean,
you're bothering him. Yeah, I remember that. That was
right?
really,
I'm
I was
like,
like, wow. That's the one thing about the US. Good thing that you mentioned here. When you go out here, the waiter will come by 1,000 times to ask you if you need anything. I
that's
swear, like,
annoying.
it is annoying. I agree. And so I
Let's
think there needs to be like a middle ground.
let's not be like the US or like Tenerife. Let's be like Portuguese people. Portuguese people are the best in customer service. Portuguese people, we are nice, we are polite, we are not nagging you, like bothering you all the time. Yeah, let's follow Portugal's example because I got excited. Can you tell that I'm from Portugal?
Yes.
Like for like customer service, I now value it like so much because in Portugal
Uh-huh.
you have great customer service. It's just like, once I took a flight from Tenerife to Porto, as you say
Uh-huh.
in English, and then I went from Oporto to Lisbon. Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
I went to Oporto and then I got to this flight with Portuguese people. I was like, we are so good, like very nice, very polite, and like
Yes.
you didn't just nice and not
Hmm.
annoying and not like,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. There needs to be like a middle ground because in the US it's too much, but then other times it's not. So,
yeah, middle
but the
ground is
service in India, wow, I think they've spoiled me. And now I'm so used to it, it's hard.
in India. It's true. They're too nice, and
They're so, even if they don't have what you want in the restaurant, they will figure out a way to make it.
they will go to their neighbor and ask for the thing that is
Exactly.
missing. Like they're so
Exactly.
cool.
Yes, they will. Like if the store that you want to buy something doesn't have it, they will leave the store, go buy it, bring it to their store and sell it to you.
Yeah, I had the same feeling in Marrakesh. The
Uh-huh.
guys were like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like just random questions. Do you know I would love to go to a hammam? Do you know it? Yes, come here. I will take it. And then the guy would take me,
Yes.
and then he
It's
would
so
take me
true.
and like, she wants this and that, and they're so freaking cool. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh,
I think overall, I would say in all the countries I've been to, for the most part, people are nice and they will help you if you need help.
yeah.
I've maybe come across like maybe one person that was not helpful, but for the most part, I would say like everywhere I've been, people have been nice and welcoming.
Yeah, maybe because you were nice and welcoming as well, I think.
I agree.
Probably
Yeah.
your vibe. And especially what I've noticed is that when I travel by myself, people are nicer because
Yes.
they see that
Yeah.
I'm a woman, that I am alone. So
Uh-huh.
I get a lot of help and people like trying
Hmm.
to really know if I'm okay and help
Yeah.
me out.
And sometimes that's nicer because you get invited to a lot of things as opposed to if you're with someone, maybe people
Yeah,
wouldn't approach you as much.
it's true. Yes, it's totally true. I
So
want to
let's talk about,
travel.
huh? You what?
I want to travel right now.
Well, tomorrow is coming.
Yeah, tomorrow is
Less
coming.
than 24 hours.
Yes, oh my God.
So let's
Ah,
talk about food, our favorite
mm,
subject. I love food.
oh my God. I love food so much. I love food so much. I could
So
cry.
tell me about I mean, I know what typical food was in Tenerife because you took me, but tell our audience what some typical dishes were.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So here in Tenerife, there's a very like a large culture of eating potatoes. So you will have
Mm-hmm, yes.
Canarian potatoes. Some of them are sweet, some of them are really small and tasty, and they're like the best thing. And you everywhere you go, you have potatoes. Okay. Forget about asking for rice with something. No, just eat the potatoes. And then there's this delicious sauce made with peppers, which is the Canarian sauce. You have tried it,
Mm-hmm,
the red sauce, there's the green sauce, and it's like delicious, and you eat it with everything. So
mm-hmm,
there's a like a tradition of there's a place here, well, a lot of places here called guachinches. So a guachinche is a place where you go to have local food, and the best thing about the guachiche, wait for it, is that they have their own wine. So you are going to taste local wine that they make, over there, So you're gonna drink the wine and you're gonna eat local food. It's not vegan friendly at all, like
yes, I
at
remember.
all. That's only thing you're gonna get there is meat, delicious
Mm-hmm.
meat from the country. That's what you're gonna get there. And you have a lot of specialties over
I
there.
love that octopus. What was that called?
What
Remember
I
the
don't
octopus that
know,
was grilled? That was really good.
grilled octopus or something. So in the
Yeah.
guachinche, you can have some fish, but usually you have more meat. And then everything goes with the potatoes and the mojo. Don't forget about it. And then you have these dishes with chickpeas and tomato
Oh yeah, I remember
sauce and
that. Mm-hmm.
everything. But the thing is that they always have meat on it, kind of a chorizo inside,
Mm-hmm.
like chorizo and stuff like that. It's like delicious food. Since this is an island, you also will find some places to eat like very good fish. These
Yes.
places are called cofrarias, and then you will find like delicious fish that just you know it just came from the sea to your plate.
Mm-hmm.
If you're vegan, you don't like this conversation, but I'm sorry, it is what it is.
Oh, it's okay.
That's
I
the way
eat
it is
fish.
here. And it's really cool and tasty. And the best thing is that it's freaking cheap. I mean, it's cheap.
Yes,
If you go
it
to
was
a
cheap.
guachinche, I mean, you can pay 8 euros, 9, 10 euros tops. But with those 10 euros, you have eaten like meat, a potato, maybe something like something with chickpeas or
Mhm.
beans
Mhm.
or whatever. You have eaten like an entire meal with dessert, with coffee, and you drank wine and you're
Mhm.
drunk, and you're going to spend only 10
I
euros.
remember that. I thought it was very cheap when we
Yes,
would go
it's
out to eat.
very cheap, and
Yeah.
the food is very, very tasty. And yeah,
And
you
in
can tell
Europe,
that
I noticed how cheap wine was, especially in Portugal. Like, wow, the wine was so cheap there. It was
wine is
so
cheaper in
crazy.
Portugal than in Tenerife. In
Yeah.
Portugal, you have 2 euros and you buy a
Mhm.
bottle, and the bottle will be delish. Here,
Mhm.
with 2 euros, you can buy the wine to season your food, and that's it.
Mhm.
Don't drink it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, food here is, I would say that we have everything here you've ever wanted. Especially if you're in a big city like Chicago or New York, you will always find authentic Italian places, Portuguese places, Spanish places, whatever you want, you can find. And that's what I love about it, because even if you don't have an opportunity to travel, because you and I have like had the chance to travel, you can go to a restaurant and still eat the food and it'll be exactly the same as it was in the country. And that's what I love about it.
Nice. That's nice.
So,
And just to say one thing real quick, that's one thing that I really admire in the
mhm,
US. I haven't tried it, but in the UK, for
mhm.
example, you have a lot of food from different places, and
Yes,
it's actually the same.
yes,
Here,
mhm,
not so much. The
yeah,
version is just completely different and adapted. So
mhm.
I love that you have like food from
Yeah, from all over the place. And so it's really
different.
cool to go try. Like, I've tried Cuban food before, like food that I would never have tried before. And the sushi is really good. Yeah, we have lots of different things. That's what I love about it.
Cool.
Basically, like, American culture so much is like on football, because we love to watch football and have our favorite teams, and it's something that we can cheer on. We don't watch soccer as much. Like, it's starting to be a thing here, but not as much as football. But we're like, so many of our traditions are focused on football and watching it and coming together and drinking together and watching a game and going to different bars.
Yeah,
Yeah, people
it's so
also can join football like leagues in the different cities, so you can play
yeah.
football yourself or soccer. So like, I'm a huge proponent of Meetup, because that way you can find all things to do what that you're interested in.
Yeah, that's so cool. Funny thing, I was laughing while we were speaking because for me, when you say football, I don't visualize what you are visualizing because I'm European.
Yes, I
When
know.
you say football, I'm thinking about soccer all the
Yes,
time. I'm
soccer.
like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
It's
have to
true.
really focus, like
Yeah.
focus and just imagine what you are imagining it because for me, that's not football.
Yeah, it's true. It's so
Yeah,
true. And I mean, we also have amazing TV shows. Like, I think here we're really all about like Hollywood, like getting out all these different
yeah,
movies. Everyone gets really excited about the different premieres, the
yeah.
award ceremonies when they give out different awards for different movies. So that's a big deal here as well, the entertainment industry. We spend a lot of money on entertainment.
Yeah, that's so cool. And it's like you have an international industry, right? Because
Yes.
I watch what you watch, and this is so
Mhm.
crazy. And for me, it's something so far away, like Hollywood, that's so far
Mhm.
away, and it is far away, right?
Mhm.
And it's very interesting for me to think that you are actually where the movies are made,
Yes.
I haven't
Yes.
thought about it before. It's
Mhm.
so cool.
Let's talk about the weather. So here, the weather is very different. We have earthquakes, we have hurricanes, we have tornadoes.
That's not cool.
Everything you possibly think of, we have it here as well when it comes to the weather. It's your choice. It's like you're at a menu at a
I don't
restaurant.
like hurricanes. I don't like hurricanes. Oh, listen, the weather in Tenerife is very interesting. We have
Hmm.
what we call micro weathers because the
Okay.
island is very small, but you can go to a
Hmm.
different place. We have a volcano here.
I remember, and I've
Area.
seen a farm inside of a volcano that I thought was so freaking cool. Like, I didn't even know you could do that.
You can do a lot of things in an island where nobody comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything is legal. Okay, so we have our island is a volcanic
Mhm.
island.
Mhm.
So, for example, in the volcano, since it's so high, it's the highest point in Spain.
Okay.
Maybe more. I don't remember, but
Mhm.
Spain for sure. And it snows over there. So it can be
Okay.
snowing over here, and then you are in the south of the island, and
Uh-huh.
you are at the beach, and it's freaking boiling. So it's very interesting. And in
Yes.
general, we have the four seasons, but they are not real.
Mhm.
We have it's like we have a very nice winter, it's never
Yeah.
that cold. I have some, those coats, like I never wear them
Yeah.
because
Do
I
you have
don't,
to wear a scarf?
yeah, but just because I need to take care of my fur. But it's not like my brothers, they're like, you're joking.
Yeah.
Like, what's the temperature? I'm like, oh, 14 degrees. It's so cold. Really. Like, because I got used to the weather. They
Yeah.
say that in Tenerife, the weather is like the eternal spring. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
how we describe the weather. It's not
I
that
like that.
cold because sometimes it's actually cold,
Yeah.
but yeah, and especially in the north, it's cold. There is one place over here called La Laguna, which is
Mhm. Oh
cold,
yeah.
very very cold.
Uh-huh.
We went shopping there, isn't it?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Was it cold?
I don't remember it being cold.
It's probably in the summer. It's
But I also visited you in July, so yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good. We
Yeah.
like it. But yeah, in the winter it's cold. But we have very good weather.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. I love
No,
it.
like in Chicago, the winter is awful. Like you need to have your snow boots, your big parka,
Oh,
scarves. Like I counted, I had 20 different scarves. Like I
that's
just counted.
exhausting.
And then, you need to have a hood or a hat or earmuffs. And I remember like when it's wintertime, it takes you 5 extra minutes to get out of the house because it takes you 5 minutes to put all that stuff on. And then wherever you're going, like, so that's why when you're inside a house, you don't want to leave. So you try to go everywhere where you don't have to leave. The cool
Oh.
thing about Chicago is like underneath in the loop in the center of the city, there's a tunnel, and all the tunnels lead to different buildings. So when it's really bad outside, you can just take the tunnel to another building where you don't have to go outside at all.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
That
That's
is
really
really cool.
cool.
Yeah. A lot of the tunnels are closed, but some of them are open to the major buildings that you need to get to, or at least they'll get you closer to where you need to be, which is
Mhm.
nice.
Okay, that's really cool. So, would you say that you love living in the USA?
No, I don't.
That's an honest answer. Where
No,
would
I
you?
think for me, it's because I was 12. So I grew up in Europe. And I think when I was 12, when I moved here, I already had a sense of identity. And I identify more with my European heritage than I do with being an American.
Mhm.
I would like to live somewhere where it's okay for me to go and sit and have coffee for 2 hours and talk to someone, where it's not so much all about work, where I actually get 6 weeks of vacation,
Mhm.
where I can get, social health care, where I don't have to spend so much money on health care, and just a place that's a little bit more relaxed. And I guess I'm talking a lot about Germany because I grew up in Germany.
Mhm.
And so those are the systems that I got used to.
Yeah.
Do I want to live in Germany? Not necessarily, but I think I do want to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Come back.
Come back, yes.
We're waiting for you.
Well, the good
Um,
thing is I do have a European passport, so I can work and stay in Europe, which is nice. So
cool.
something to think about.
Yes. I never thought I would say this in my life, but I love living here.
Yeah.
I thought I was a city girl, and
Hmm.
then I had an experience where I got to live in Hungary for 3 months, and I was living in a
Oh, nice.
very, very small
Were
city.
you in Budapest?
I was in Budapest.
Okay.
I was in Budapest, but like tours at. Okay, so I arrived in Budapest because I was doing something called like it was an internship with an association that is called ISEC.
Okay.
So I went to the university over there, and then I went to the place where I was supposed to be and live for 3 months, which
Mhm.
Kecskemét. And then
Mhm.
I went to Budapest again just to, to chill out and enjoy the
Mhm.
city. And I loved it very much. There was just a lake, in the middle of the city, not a lot of places to go. I would bike everywhere. And I was very
Nice.
young, but that experience just stayed in my mind. And that's
Mhm.
where I discovered that, it's not like I am a city girl. I love city,
Yeah.
but I prefer visiting cities. But to live, I prefer the peace that I have here in Tenerife.
Yes.
I live
Mm-hmm.
in the city, but you know my apartment. It looks like
Yes, yes,
I'm,
yes,
I
yes.
don't know, in the, I don't know. But it's very calm, and
Mm-hmm.
here the city is not too big, and I love living here. I think I have everything I need. I love the sea. I love nature, and I have
Mm-hmm.
sea. I have nature. I have,
Nice.
loving environment and people
Mm-hmm.
around me. So I really love living here, and I can't see myself living somewhere else.
Yeah.
um, Maybe just live for 3 months and work remotely somewhere, but I would go
Mm-hmm.
like to
Where would you go? Like where? Because a place that I really love that I visited twice already is Bali, but I don't know that I
yeah,
could see myself living there.
I think I would love staying a few months in Bali, and I would
Yeah.
love to going to Nepal. I would love going to
Mm-hmm.
India, but not like
Yes.
Bali. I like Rishikesh. Rishikesh
Yes.
is nice.
You should
uh,
go to the south, like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. It's so
yeah,
beautiful. It's
I need
very similar
to.
to Bali.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once I get all these things.
I feel
uh,
like India has ruined me because I've had papayas and bananas in India, and now that I have them, I'm like, what is this? This is not a papaya. You
are
know what
you
I mean? Because
kidding me? Oh
because
my
the
god.
fruit there is so fresh and it grows and they sell it right there
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah,
perfect. And now that I eat papaya, I'm like, what is this? Like, what am I
yeah.
eating?
Like in Marrakesh, people always say, don't eat the food from the street, whatever. Like in Marrakesh, I was the entire day, I was like, with the fruit, because it's like real taste. It's not like here.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not,
I know what you mean.
no. Yesterday,
It's okay if there's a lot of other people around, then it's okay.
yeah, well, I'm fine, okay?
You survived.
I survived, yes, but with real food that is not the fruit, I always try to buy,
Yeah.
see if there's a lot of people buying.
Uh-huh.
But yes, yes. But yesterday I ate a very good watermelon. I was surprised. It was like so good.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yeah, very nice. So we want to hear from our audience. Have you visited Tenerife or have you been in the US? Like, let us know. Let us know a place you liked, what you thought was different, and what kind of time you had there.
Yeah, and what's life like where you live? I'm curious.
Exactly. Yeah, let us know where our audience is from and how life is where you're living.
Yeah, send us an email to chaywithuspodcast@gmail.com. And thank you for being here. See you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. See you next week. Thank you for joining us.
Yay!